Hey everyone, it's Cam. Welcome back to this week's session. So over the past few weeks, we started looking at our 7 dimensions of health. So the idea here is that it means something different to everyone. So what are they and how can we improve them, right? So like I've said every session, all 7 dimensions are very much intertwined. Right? So the more that we can focus in on, each one individually and really reflect on what we're doing to challenge ourselves in each one to make sure that we're improving and staying healthy, the more we're going to help ourselves overall to find that balance and satisfaction in our everyday life. So far we've covered physical and social. So today we're going to take a little bit of a dive into the intellectual side of things. So thinking about our intellectual dimension of health, here it's where we cover, our side that's creativity, curiosity, problem-solving skills, critical thinking. It's what are we doing every day that's, challenging ourselves, that's keeping our brain engaged, and ultimately being lifelong learners, right? So we don't want to fall into this phase where we're just comfy and just going through every day, waiting for the weekend, waiting for this, waiting for that, going through every day without even really turning our brain on or thinking, right? So you really want to make sure that you're really pushing yourself, maybe seeking friendships or relationships with people who challenge you in a good way, right? So someone who's going to push you to be better every day, and hopefully vice versa, that you would do the same for someone else, right? So there's 4 key areas here that I want to talk about today. So the first one that's going to help improve our intellectual well-being is going to be to do with nutrition. So this here is the concept of eating nutrient-dense foods. Now I'm not going to dive too much into this because you're getting really great information from Daniel every week as well, specific to nutrition. But the idea here is, going for foods that have a lot of vitamins, minerals, vitamin E, right? So some foods that aren't super high in sugar, sodium, saturated fats, right? So when you go to the grocery store, you pick something up, you look at the back of it where the nutritional information is, say it has 10 grams of fat, it's going to tell you how much of that is saturated fats. And say if there's 10 grams of fat and 8 grams of that is saturated fats, maybe you can reflect on that and ask, is this the right option for you, or is there something healthier where you're going to get everything that you need out of that as well? So foods, like berries, nuts, seeds, whole grains, salmon. You really want to look for foods that are high in antioxidants and healthy fats and fiber, right? So that's all I'll say there because like I said, go watch Daniel's videos. You're going to learn a lot with that nutritional information. But that is key takeaway number 1. So reflect today on if you're eating foods that are high in nutrients, that are going to be brain food, right? So what we fuel our body with affects our physical health, but it also affects our brain. So are we eating foods that are going to keep a healthy mind, right? So taking care of that intellectual side of things. So that's number 1. Number 2 is caring for your physical health, right? So we've talked about our physical health before, but specific to our intellectual and mental health, you want to make sure that you're getting good sleep, right? So not even, you want to get enough sleep, but you want to make sure it's good sleep as well. So, having that wind down time before you go to sleep, having a set schedule, it's going to really help you to stay alert during the day and have that energy throughout the day and just keep your brain healthy as well. Staying hydrated, right? So getting your water in every day, making sure that you're getting enough water throughout the day, as well as exercise. So exercise is great for our physical health, right? And I'm sure a lot of you who come here or, exercise at home, whatever it is, a lot of you who exercise weekly, a few times a week, you know that it also has a massive impact on your mental health. So it really helps you to stay positive and feel productive, but it also keeps your brain healthy too. So getting the exercise in. When you exercise a few times a week, you have your goals in mind for your body, but it's just as important for your mind. So it keeps your brain healthy and able to do everything that you want to do on the day-to-day. So that's key number 2. So 1, eat nutrient-dense foods. 2, take care of your physical health in any way that you can. It's going to keep your brain nice and healthy. Number 3, pursuing hobbies. So these can often get put on the back burner as well. Don't have time for this, don't have time for that, right? Make that time for yourself. You want to make sure that you're taking part in things, learning something new, something that's going to keep your brain engaged, keep your mind thinking. So it could be, learning a new language, take a course or a workshop in, a skill that you want to learn more about. That's something that nobody can steal from you, right? You've learned it, you've acquired it, and you can put it into practice. So take a course or a workshop in whatever it is that interests you. Learn to appreciate art. Anyone who goes to, art shows, they're not just going there to look at things. They're actually, critically thinking about what the artist was trying to convey in this piece that they created, right? So go to an art show, or whatever it is, and you can appreciate art in so many other ways through listening to music, reading a book, whatever it is, right? So appreciating art, and then, like I said, seeking relationships that are going to challenge you. But overall, have some kind of hobby or passion that you can do in your downtime, right? So you might be passionate about your work, and maybe work doesn't feel like work because you love it so much, and that's awesome, right? But have a hobby that's just for you, something that you do. It could be something you do with friends as well, but just that keeps your mind engaged, that's separate from work. And separate from the gym as well. The gym is great, but it's also doesn't quite count here. So just continue to take part in those hobbies, go for a walk, whatever it is. All right, last but not least, this is actually a really big one, managing stress. We might actually have a week where we just talk about stress and what it means, how it impacts us, and what we can do to manage it better. I think you can agree that if you take a step back and look at all dimensions of your health, you can see that it's one of those things that can creep its way into all 7 dimensions, and things can easily become very overwhelming. So learning how to manage your stress, learning time management, because over time, if you let it pile up, it really wears down your mental health, your intellectual health quite a bit in many different ways. So it makes it hard to problem solve, and it makes it hard to complete tasks. You might have a full day with a list of things to do, and if it seems super overwhelming, before you know it, the day is gone and maybe you've crossed off one thing. And then the next day, you're going to be more stressed because you didn't get yesterday's tasks done, right? So just learning, how to manage that and how to overcome that. Because oftentimes when we're stressed, once it piles up, we can easily lose motivation and even our curious spark to continue with things that we enjoy. They don't really become fun anymore. So we'll probably have a week where we just talk about stress because it's super important to learn how to handle that. So those 4 areas, I want you to spend a little bit of time today just reflecting on that and asking yourself questions, like, have you been prioritizing those areas, and are you taking care of your intellectual health? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. That's what we're here for. But aside from that, happy Wednesday. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.